right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Track and snowfall. We're going to get a little bit Friday night and even more in the 7-day forecast. I'll tell you when.
His act of road rage turned deadly. Now he's headed to prison. Tonight, the victim's family is overjoyed.
I'm glad he was found guilty. I'm glad he's getting time and not just a probation.
Our top story, a woman kidnapped at gunpoint while pumping gas and forced to perform a sexual act.
And the stuff that now she's going to have to live with the rest of her life is stuff that we never want to see.
Tonight we have dash cam footage of the crash ending in a police pursuit and the suspect's arrest. The disturbing crime happened just minutes after midnight on New Year's Day. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. St. Anne police say the suspect forced his way inside the victim's car at the Circle K gas station along a busy stretch of St. Charles Rock Road. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is just back from sitting down with the police chief. Brent.
Well, the chief tells me it was a horrible start to 2024. His officers quickly springing into action after getting a word that a man forced a woman to perform oral sex and then took off in her car. It's a police pursuit that comes to a crashing in.
And he hits the guardrail, bounces all the way across over to the median. He wasn't able to get out of the car when we took him into custody.
St. Anne Police Chief Aaron Jimenez is talking about this guy, DeJuan Grimm of St. Louis. They say it all started just after midnight on New Year's Day here at the Circle K on St. Charles Rock Road in Cypress. A 23-year-old woman was pumping gas.
He points a black in color firearm at her discreetly, tells her he needs a ride, get in the car, and he's gonna have her take him somewhere.
Moments later,
it makes her perform oral sex on him.
Investigators tell me the victim then somehow convinced the bad guy to make a quick stop at a nearby restaurant, not knowing she was plotting her next move.
He says, "Can I get your number?" She says, "Yeah, but I don't have anything to write with. Why don't we go down the street? You can, go with me."
That's when she bolted and called 911. When police got there, they say Grimm took off in the victim's car. About an hour later, flock cameras track him back at the Circle K. St. Anne police weren't letting him get away. Watch how he takes off, heading onto the interstate before crashing at Jennings Station Road. Pursuit over.
I hope this guy, never sees the light of day.
Now, last summer, the suspect was charged with unlawfully having a gun. Tonight, you can add to that robbery, kidnapping, sodomy, armed criminal action, and resisting arrest. All felonies. He's due in court Monday.
Developing tonight, Interstate 270 is back open near the Chain of Rocks Bridge. The eastbound lanes were shut down for a couple of hours tonight after police pursuit ended with a crash on the Illinois side of the bridge. St. Louis County Police say officers were pursuing an SUV wanted in connection with a homicide in the area. The SUV crashed into another car on the bridge. No one was hurt. The suspect was taken into custody.
Out of the sea. Out of the sea.
Tonight, a driver is in jail after a wild scene in Lime. Viewer Chris Getz shot this video of a slow speed pursuit on South Broadway today. It shows officers in front and behind a car with 4 flat tires. St. Louis police confirmed detectives deployed spike strips while pursuing a stolen car. This all came to an end about 5 miles away near Chippewa. A 30-year-old man was arrested. It was an emotional day for a St. Charles County man.
He was in court today when one of the men charged in a road rage incident that killed his wife was sentenced. New tonight, Robert Townsend talked with that husband as he walked out of the courthouse.
It was a day Roy Cotner had waited to see for nearly 2 years. Sentencing day for Joseph Faupel, the Troy, Missouri man charged in a road rage incident that killed Cotner's childhood sweetheart and 69-year-old wife, Patricia.
That was my friend, I stuck up for her. She stuck up for me.
On March 29, 2022, the Cotners were on Highway 61 at Route W, heading home to Moscow Mills. Witnesses told police Joseph Faupel tried to pass Daniel Leffler's car on the highway, but he couldn't because Leffler sped up. Prosecutors say the two men touched off a road rage incident that caused Faupel to hit Leffler's car, which pushed him into the Codner's Honda. The couple's car left the highway, hit a telephone pole, and flipped several times. Patricia, a passenger in their car, was killed.
They purposely did what they did.
The Codners were married for 3 years. Roy now walks with a limp as a result of the crash.
It comes and goes, you know. I don't do much of anything anymore.
Ron Brockmeyer, Faupel's lawyer, called the road rage incident, quote, a negligent and stupid accident, but not intentional. Brockmeyer asked the judge to place his client on probation. But during the 30-minute hearing, the judge handed Faupel the maximum sentence, 5 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter. That will run simultaneously with a 4-year sentence for second-degree assault.
I'm glad he was found guilty. I'm glad he's getting time and not just a probation.
Regina Armstrong, the couple's daughter, now lives in Arizona.
We feel that justice has been served, and we are extremely happy.
Faupel apologized to the Codners. Leffler, the other driver, returns to court next month.
I'll be there for that, too.
Robert Townsend, 5 Your Side.
Tonight, 2 men now face charges for a brutal attack and leaving a man for dead outside a North St. Louis gas station. Nathan Ken and Brandon Leachman are both charged with assault and robbery. The attack happened outside the Crown Mart at Jefferson and Delmar on New Year's Day. According to court documents, the 2 men admitted to the crime and showed police cell phone video of them kicking and taunting the victim, who was on the ground unconscious and bleeding. They also admitted to stealing his wallet to buy cigarettes and beer. The victim is still recovering in the hospital tonight.
Tonight, a Metro East pastor says he is blessed to be alive after crashing his car into a Metrolink train.
The angels protected me. My brakes went out in my car. I couldn't stop.
The crash happened near the Emerson Park Station in East St. Louis. Pastor Solomon Butler of Union Full Baptist Church credits divine intervention for walking away from his wrecked car without a scratch on him.
I didn't think I was going to make it, but God's hands was on me. I just closed my eyes and said, Lord, I made it to 2024 and hit the train. There's nothing I could do. I give God the glory that he let me live and be here to tell the story.
None of the 10 people on the train were hurt. Metrolink was shut down in the area for about an hour, but is back up and running tonight.
Tonight, investigations are underway after several state capitol buildings across the country were forced to evacuate due to bomb threats. Both the Illinois State House in Springfield and the Missouri Capitol in Jefferson City also received threats this morning, but there were no evacuations. The Illinois Secretary of State Police did a sweep of the building out of a precaution. The Missouri Department of Public Safety deemed that the threat was not credible. Tonight, the first day of the legislative session in Jefferson City has wrapped up.
Both the Missouri House and Senate turned the calendar on the new year, but couldn't manage to turn the page on old fights. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, found election year tension building at the start of an election year.
Some Republicans are determined to pass school choice, sending public dollars to private schools. Some Republicans are pushing to deny pro-choice momentum, or at least defend against it, making it harder to change the Constitution to legalize abortion. But on day one of the 2024 session, renewed signs that both pushes could still stall in a splintered Senate.
Political experts and onlookers don't think this session is going to amount to much.
Senate Republican leader Caleb Rowden addressed dissension in his party's ranks as he tried to rally them around school choice.
Children stuck in failing schools and their parents need for us to prove the experts wrong.
But that dissension reared its head moments later.
The time for statesmanship is over.
A newly formed Freedom Caucus blasted Republican leaders for squandering supermajorities.
We are literally upholding the Democrat platform year after year and spinning us into oblivion.
How divided are Senate Republicans right now?
Probably no more so than we've ever been.
Those divisions ran deep before the Conservative Caucus disbanded. Now they're back together under a different name.
Now they're just more formal and actually have support and training from a national group, which makes it a little bit more intense, to be honest with you.
House Minority Leader Crystal Quaid hopes the GOP stays divided long enough for voters to build momentum behind a pro-choice ballot question to legalize abortion.
I trust voters. And that's the difference between me and my counterparts on the other side of the aisle. I trust them to have a voice and to know what's best for them. That's why I want this to go to a vote of the people, while you see Republicans trying to stifle this every step of the way.
Do you want to see an abortion question of some kind on the ballot. Do you want the voting public to weigh in on this issue?
I mean, I don't know that I have an opinion about wanting or not wanting. I think the legislature made our voice heard a few years ago via the heartbeat bill.
Do you think the public agrees with that position?
They sent us all back here. Every single person that voted for that bill came back, including me in Columbia, Missouri.
Are you going to be behind that effort to make it harder to change the Constitution?
Yeah, no, I've gone back and forth on this issue a little bit.
A lot of big choices on the horizon. In Jefferson City, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
As far as gifts go, they're popular and convenient. They're also a present to scammers.
There's a lot of scams that are perpetrated where the scammer is asking for a gift card, such as like a grandparent scam or a utility scam.
Tonight, we're helping you make ends meet by uncovering the new tricks of scammers. The Battlehawks rising like a phoenix. Tonight, officials from the new UFL weigh in on why St. Louis is a football town.
Another frosty night in St. Louis, and it looks like it's going to stay frosty. I'll have the trend for you next.
Just hours ago, the first batch of federal court documents surrounding Jeffrey Epstein were unsealed, naming associates of the late convicted sex offender. Former Presidents Bill Clinton and Donald Trump are mentioned, but both are not accused of any wrongdoing. Epstein died by suicide in jail in 2019 while awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges.
A Kansas judge has signed off on a request to dismiss 3 sexual battery charges against the younger brother of Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. The attorneys for Jackson Mahomes filed the motion today to drop the felony charges after the victim refused to cooperate with the courts. The younger Mahomes pleaded not guilty to the charges stemming from an incident at an Overland Park restaurant last year. He still faces a misdemeanor charge involving another alleged victim.
The American consumer could be getting a big break from the Federal Reserve. Minutes from the central bank's latest policy meeting show the Fed expects to cut interest rates for the first time since March of 2022. That is when aggressive hikes began in an effort to tamper skyrocketing inflation.
A consumer alert tonight for people who drive Ford F-150 pickup trucks. The automaker is recalling nearly 113,000 of its popular trucks. This affects some 2021 to 2023 models. There's concern a rear axle hub could break off. That could cause the truck to lose power or roll away while in park. According to the recall, Ford is still figuring out a fix. Well, gift cards are a great present all year round, but the Better Business Bureau warns gift card scams are surging.
Some of those scams are new and incredibly difficult to spot. Michelle Lee shows you how to protect yourself in tonight's Making Ends Meet.
Gift cards are a popular gift idea any time of year, but especially right now. Scammers are increasingly targeting gift cards to steal from you.
Gift card scam reports are up 50% for 2023 over 2022, and we're not even done with the year yet.
The Better Business Bureau is reporting a surge in gift card scams, warning that scammers could be tampering with gift cards and stealing barcodes, or targeting online shoppers and asking them to pay with a gift card that's not from the retailer.
That's a huge red flag. There's a lot of scams that are perpetrated where the scammer is asking for a gift card, such as like a grandparent scam or a utility scam.
The BBB also warns consumers that scammers use other tactics to steal from them too. Before you buy a gift card, here's what to look out for to avoid becoming a victim. First, check for stickers covering the barcode by running your finger over the back of the physical card. The stickers may contain a phony barcode, and when it gets scanned at checkout, you'll unwittingly be sending that cash to the scammer's account. Also, be careful of websites that check your card's balance. The BBB says some sites could use your card's ID number and PIN and drain money from it.
When you buy a gift card and you give that number and that PIN to somebody, that money's gone. So it's really important to know who you're giving it to and what they're going to use it for.
And then finally, check for ripped or wrinkled packaging. The BBB says thieves often remove gift cards from the display rack and record numbers linked to that card, including the activation pin.
And here's a bonus tip from the BBB. Pass on too good to be true gift card deals. Avoid websites or social media ads that promote gift cards for popular retailers at big discounts because scammers could steal your payment card info. Instead, the BBB recommends that you shop directly from the merchant. Back to you.
Some first today for a popular St. Louis barbecue restaurant group. Sugar Fire Smokehouse opened its newest location in Florissant, which is the first in North County, making it the company's 14th restaurant. This particular location is the first female majority-owned Sugar Fire. The 6 women have all been with the company for years, from executive chefs to operation managers. They're looking forward to continuing to make their mark in the barbecue industry.
We're very excited to be the first women-owned Sugar Fire and to have the opportunity to, meet all these people in the community that have been so kind. We've had a lot of support from local businesses like Narrow Gauge, and we've had the gentleman who owns Man's Meat even came and patroned us today. It's been lovely to see each other and be a big part of a barbecue community.
A portion of today's opening day proceeds will be donated to Hogs for the Cause. It's a nonprofit which supports families and research dedicated to fighting pediatric brain cancer.
Well, we're only about 40 days away until many Redbirds will fly south to Jupiter, Florida for spring training. But we're only 10 days away from the annual Cardinals' annual winter warm-up. Single-day tickets go on sale Friday morning on the team's website. A limited number of free autograph tickets will also be up for grabs. The annual fan event will take place January 13th through the 15th at Ballpark Village and Busch Stadium. And the Cardinals are touting a special concert announcement tomorrow at Busch Stadium. And all we know at this point is that Cardinals President Bill DeWitt III and Joe Buck will be there.
Yeah, representatives from Live Nation will also be on hand. The announcement's at 11 a.m. We will stream it live on KSDK.com and the 5 on Your Side app. Meteorologist Tracy Henson's in for Scott tonight, and she's here with the weather first forecast. Tracy, a little snow in the forecast?
A little snow. I'm just racking my brain on who Live Nation could be representing.
We've been talking about it in the newsroom. Have no idea.
Yeah. We don't know yet.
No guess.
We'll know
I don't know.
soon.
Mike's holding out on us. I bet you know.
No, I don't know. I really don't. I'd tell you.
We'll see.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
I've been sworn to secrecy.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I don't know.
Oh, see,
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, everyone. Well, I can tell you what we're looking at in terms of weather, but I do not know what is coming next week. It could be a little bit of snowfall. In terms of how much, that's really uncertain at this time. What we landed at today was close to average, about 40 degrees, average high of 41, 28 degrees for our low, average is 25. So a pretty close to average day for us. I always love this shot at night, the city just illuminating everything. It's a beautiful night out there. We have a mix of clouds and clearing. It's going to depend on where you are. Temperatures have not dropped down significantly from where we were at earlier. We're kind of just stuck in the 30s. 34 degrees in St. Charles, 35 in Chesterfield, 35 for Scott Air Force Base. For tonight, we're looking at 27 degrees, partly cloudy conditions, winds out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Our sunset was at almost 5 o'clock these days, so that's nice. 40 degrees for us for tomorrow, mostly sunny conditions by the time we make it to the afternoon. I actually think we are going to get some blue sky tomorrow, so that'll be quite nice. Temperatures then overnight will drop down pretty quickly. Now let's talk about what's going to get a little interesting for us as we make our way into Friday. So let's go ahead and watch this rain snow line. This is the most updated model I can bring you, and it is rapidly changing here. It's drawing that rain snow line further and further into our coverage area here. So before, if you were watching around 4 o'clock here, it covered kind of along the Mississippi River. But now we're just looking at snowfall. Our heaviest snowfall will be along that rain snow line where the most moisture is. And you can see it does start to taper off a little bit. So Herman and Gasconade County, they might not see very much, but you can see even into the metro area between 6 and 9, we're going to be in that snowfall. It's a pattern that looks like it's going to continue through about midnight, and then it tapers off. So it's not many hours of snowfall, and it's not very heavy snowfall, but certainly enough to, I think, cover our grassy areas and possibly some elevated roadways, so it could be a little icy. Your 10-day forecast trend here is going to show you that temperatures will make it into the upper 40s by Monday. Tuesday is going to be that interesting day of the week when we're tracking a little mix from rain to snow, and I think that will actually measure up. So.
Oh, we'll be able to measure it, huh?
I think so.
All right.
It's still quite a ways away.
Yes.
Don't hold me to it, but I'm hoping so. Maybe not sleddable, but we'll see.
All right, Tracy, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, the Billikens had a night to forget. Spring football is back, and I'm going to tell you about my favorite hobby in life, and many of you love it also.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire.
Before the season, we like to predict by putting a W or an L by each game on the schedule. Everybody had the Billikens winning at home against the Loyola team that they had beaten 6 straight times. We'll think again. Celebrity Row tonight, SLU baseball coach Darren Hendrickson, Colton Parayko, and Marco Scandella of the Blues, and Mike Claiborne. Anybody paying for those tickets there? A disastrous beginning. Jalen Quinn picks the pocket and gets the layup for an 18-point Loyola lead. The Billikens show a pulse. TJ Hargrove with 3 of his 18. We're tied at 53. Later, Gibson Jimerson, 2 of his 19. Bills down 5. But Brandon Norris will ice it for the Ramblers on this 3. Loyola wins it 80-73. The Billikens are 7-7.
It's about as sluggish and as soft and non-aggressive and slow as I've ever had a team play to start a game. Our reaction time was obviously bad.
The one thing you must remember, there could be no spring professional football league without our town involved. It's like baseball without the Cardinals. We are spring football. The Battlehawks will play in the newly formed United Football League. The Rock broke it on game day that the USFL and the XFL would merge into the UFL. The games will be televised on 4 different networks. The other 7 cities are Arlington, D.C., San Antonio, Birmingham, Houston, Memphis, and Detroit. Season begins March 30th. St. Louis averaged a staggering 35,000 per game last year.
With Birmingham, with Memphis, 2 cities that have had spring football teams a part of their community, and then seen the league fold and go away. It was challenging for us to build that trust, and I love the fact that St. Louis was all in when the XFL came back for the second opportunity, and they demonstrated week in and week out at those home games just how much they embraced the spring football element.
Hoops, Pee Wee Leonard and John Burroughs hosting Lindbergh. Here's one of the best prospects in the country. 6'8" sophomore Tristan Reed. The young man will be special. 30 points, 11 boards. Like the lefty from Lindbergh, Zach Goss. What a stroke there. Burroughs wins 66-61. Finally tonight, a word about fantasy football. If you play and you win your game, the air is fresher. The food is tastier and your spouse is more attractive. Because most fantasy leagues wrapped up a few days ago, we thought we would explore the phenomenon with an expert in the business from Dallas at Book It Sports. It's a $27 billion business.
Have fun, and have fun with your friends more than anything.
A reported 46 million played fantasy football this past season. Time consuming? You betcha.
I probably care more and spend more time on my fantasy football team than I do my day job.
And if you finish dead last in your league, well, it can be brutal.
From wearing a dress and standing on a street corner to my favorite is probably the winner of a fantasy league gets to pick the loser's punishment of picking a location to ride a Greyhound bus to and back. That's a fun one because that could be a couple-day excursion.
You're the coach or the owner of these players. You may be living in St. Louis and have never met C.D. Lamb of the Cowboys, but you find yourself rooting for him like he's your own son.
He's got it! He's gone! When he gets there, it's a touchdown, Cowboys!
And this juggernaut called fantasy football will likely continue to explode like a 4th of July sky.
It has no end, and I think we're only going to see it grow here in the United States and internationally as well. It's gotten very, very big. So the market cap I don't think exists right now. I think we're on a very high uprise over the next few years.
What are you wearing, Frank?
Yeah, what is this?
Here's a look at our Stallion football squad, where the tradition continues, where we won our 3rd straight championship, joining the Lakers, Bulls, Islanders as the only teams to ever three-peat. True story, real quickly. I glanced at a score during a church service the other day. Monique looked at me, she wanted to kill me. And then we're walking out, and I told her, I said, I made this much money by winning the league. She said, really? It's the greatest. I love fantasy football.
Boy, okay. Thank you, Frank.
It's true. It is great.
Relationships. Speaking of relationships, they are complicated these days. The Valentine's Day favorite, keeping up with the dating times. Valentine's Day is 6 weeks from today. So starting next week, Sweethearts is releasing limited edition boxes of its popular conversation hearts. Situationship hearts have messages as blurry and hard to read as Gen Z relationships. Situationships involve two people who do couple things together but who have not defined they're exclusively dating. A Tinder study found young singles consider it a legit relationship.
It is now when I'm supposed to say, back in my day.
Back in my day.
And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.